Hey there Facebook, it is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer and head coach from Live, Love, Give, and today I have a message coming to you which has been sparked from a beautiful message that I received from an incredible follower who had a question all around wanting to hear my perspective on jealousy, and in particular they mentioned that their jealousy comes up a lot in their relationship. And so I really felt called to share this message with you guys today in the hope that me talking into the concept of jealousy and really what's going on behind that behavior is going to help and support each and every one of you to not avoid those feelings of jealousy, but actually to use them to your advantage. You know, that's what I'm always trying to help, trying to ideally share a perspective that can shift for you, that can create empowerment in your life. And most of us feel pretty disempowered when we get caught up in jealousy. So I want to change the game on that. I want to definitely help you guys see what's really driving that kind of feeling and that feeling of jealousy, where it's coming from, which will ultimately allow us to identify the value that it can bring to our lives. Because anytime we become more self-aware and we have a pathway and a strategy to move forward and use it to our advantage, obviously we get empowered, and obviously we create and generate much better results in our lives. And anything that we feel that we can understand where it's coming from, we have the power to shift and change. So that to me is empowerment. And so I really wanted to title today's message for you guys, the fact that, you know, it's our jealousy that, you know, we can shift our jealousy by shifting our opinion of ourselves. And I really want to bring in the fact that every time we feel that jealousy, what we're really doing is we're engaging in one-sided perceptions. So a lopsided perception. So to start with, I want to just remind every single one of you guys, you've heard me speak time and time again, all about the fact that our lopsided perceptions, that we are all things. So every single one of us, but I'm just I think I'm stumbling because I think I should mention that I'm not driving, because sometimes when I'm in the car and I'm doing these messages, some of you guys get a bit worried that I'm driving. So I'm not. I'm in the passenger seat, just letting you know. But yeah, so let me talk into that. So every single human being walking the face of the planet experiences or has access to every single human trait. The incredible Dr. John Demartini has identified over 4,027 human traits that every single one of us has access to. And what happens is we can get caught in seeing in others what we perceive we do not have. So we see different traits or different things that we might admire or infatuate about in another person, and we don't see that in ourselves. So that's ultimately what creates this jealousy, because we have an opinion of ourselves that we're not good enough in some way. So I wanted to explain a couple of different points in terms of what really generates and creates that jealousy. So firstly, it's that opinion of ourselves when we see in others, you know, ultimately what we do not think that we have. So we see different traits within them and we get infatuated with those traits. We put them on a pedestal, we see them as above us, and we put ourselves simultaneously in a pit. And what happens is, whatever our opinion of ourselves is, in whatever way we feel that we're not good enough, it actually trains our brain to find in others what we perceive to be our voids. So Dr. Demartini would say that, you know, our perceived voids create our values, and our brains, you know, our strongest brains, the drive that we have in our brain is to prove ourselves right. And so whatever our opinion of ourselves is, whatever we perceive to be our voids, why we're not good enough, we will ultimately train our brains to discover and prove to us that we're right. And one way in which we do that is by identifying the traits in others that we don't see within ourselves that we admire. We see them in others. It's kind of like the first thing that we notice and see, and then we get putting them on a pedestal. We get putting ourselves in a pit. We create infatuation. That's where our jealousy comes from, because we think they've got more to offer than we do. And in actual fact, we have just not been owning and accessing those particular traits within ourselves, and we, brainwash ourselves into believing that we don't have that kind of value. And in actual fact, it's just pointing a light and shining light on the particular traits that we actually do really value, but we're not owning within ourselves. And ideally, they are shining light on our areas of growth so that we have a pathway to move forward. So I want to give you the steps to doing that. So if you have somebody in your life that you create, you kind of have this feeling of jealousy around, I really challenge you to do the first step, which is to identify what are the particular traits within that person that you that triggers your jealousy. So what is it that you admire in that person? What are those particular traits that you look at and you really admire, and then you start wishing that you had, and you get caught up in that jealousy, and you keep feeling not good enough, and you're putting them on that pedestal, and you're putting yourself in that pit. What are those particular traits? You've got to identify exactly what they are. And then secondly, you go on a journey of actually reflecting back in your life and working out where you actually have engaged in that particular trait, where you actually have it, where people might have mentioned to you that you have it, and really challenge yourself, because this is rewiring your brain. Because remember, the strongest drive of your brain is to prove itself right. So if you have to shift your opinion of yourself by actually going back, not making it up, not faking it till you make it, but actually going back and reflecting throughout your journey, throughout your life, throughout different feedback that you might have got from others, and actually identifying where in your life you actually have those particular traits to the same degree. And it might take you a while, and you might resist doing the work because you're going against your brain's nature to prove itself right. You're kind of trying to prove yourself wrong and reprogram it and change your opinion of yourself. And then thirdly, what you want to do is recognize that anything that you are jealous of in another, that you've not been owning within yourself, it's actually shining light on what you really value, what you're most inspired by. And if you can, first of all, in that first step, have identified what those traits are. Secondly, you've found times in your life where you have actually been operating in those traits. And then thirdly, you create a plan for yourself to bring more of that into your life. So this whole process is about balancing out not only your perceptions, but also your states of being, so that you can ultimately up your opinion of yourself and bring it into balance with the opinion that you hold of that other, that you find that jealousy within. And then the next part that I really wanted to talk into, because this follower who asked the question, wanted to hear my perception on jealousy, but then she also mentioned that her jealousy comes up predominantly in her relationship. So I know she's spoken to me before about saying that when she wasn't in relationship, she didn't experience really any jealousy, but when she was in relationship, all her jealousy came to the surface. And so you can use this same process in your relationship, because what happens is, the reason why we get jealous in our relationships is because we're putting our partner on a pedestal, and we're putting ourselves in the pit, and we're feeling not good enough, and we're idolizing all these amazing things about our partners, which puts us in this scarcity kind of mindset where if anybody comes into our lives that we perceive could be better than us in some form or whatever, we get threatened by the fact that we think, because we're putting our partner on a pedestal, we think they might wake up to our lack of goodness and want to, you know, test out and see if the grass is greener on the other side. And so we get jealous of this other person because we're in relationship with somebody we're putting on a pedestal and we're feeling in some way, shape or form not good enough for. So again, it's about changing your opinion of yourself, upping your opinion of yourself, but you might want to do this process on that other person that you're projecting the jealousy on, but ultimately it would be in your relationship, doing it on your partner. So identifying all those amazing things that you can pinpoint within your partner that you predominantly probably infatuate over, and definitely finding those same qualities within yourself. And then secondly, I would get you to identify what you are putting yourself in a pit for. So what are those different qualities within yourself, different traits within yourself that you judge yourself for, that you feel resentful for, that you kind of put yourself in a pitfall for, and find those same qualities to the same degree within your partner. And the reason why this is so awesome, you know, you can use the tactic of looking at jealousy, you know, to overcome jealousy. But at the end of the day, if you go through this process, you will get yourself off the roller coaster that is going from infatuation to resentment, which we've all experienced in our relationships. And we can get off that roller coaster and actually enter love, because love is in that balance between the positive and the negative. And if we're just seeing one side, if we're just infatuating over the goodness, or and you know, just seeing bad within ourselves, we get stuck in this cycle of ups and downs, and you know, it's just fake connection. It's not real love. And the only way of accessing real love in our relationships is to see that we are all things, you know, that our partners are both positive and negative. They got both sides, you know. We're human beings, and that too is true for ourselves. So balance is the name of the game. If you're experiencing jealousy, you're infatuating, you're only seeing positives in this other human being, and they're alerting you to the parts of yourself that you're just not owning, and you need to go on that journey of owning those within yourselves, and definitely not trying to avoid your feelings of jealousy, but using it to your advantage by getting clear on what you're being jealous of and alerting yourself to the fact that you're not owning those parts within yourself, so you can absolutely get back into balance and definitely get out of jealousy. So I really hope that today's message is of service to you. It's of value to you guys. I hope me talking into this is giving a new perspective potentially, and ideally giving you some strategy to use it to your empowerment, get out of it, get into balance, and get to a state of love and gratitude, and get out of that up and down cycle of infatuation to resentment. So let me check in with you guys. If you've got any questions or comments or feedback, let me know. You guys know I love engaging with you all, and I love saying hi, so definitely say hi. And before I jump in and check out who's been able to join me, I've put on the link because I want to make sure that each and every one of you guys are checking out that interview that I did with the incredible Dr. John Demartini. His work I speak into so much because it's been so helpful to me personally, and definitely with the clients that I work with. So definitely that interview that I've put above on my new YouTube channel that I had to completely restart and redo, but it's up above, so I would so appreciate you checking out that interview. If it's of value to you, please subscribe to my new channel. I'd love to have you over there. I'm growing it over there, and definitely I'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts on that mind-blowing interview all about the evolution of consciousness from religion to cosmology, the whole scale. It was incredible, and hope you guys get as much value and wisdom from it as I did. And definitely come on over and join us in the Limitless Potential Inner Circle Facebook community. If you haven't already, I'm surprised. What are you doing? Come on over and join us. We're up to nearly 4,200 incredible human beings from across the globe, and we want you to be a part of that too. And who have I got? I'm going to check in. So I've got Leanne and Ravi and Jared and Sam and Amit and Hassani and Jessica and Tanya and Jed, and Amit is from India. I love that. Love knowing where you guys are from. And Stephen and Ulysses from Mexico. I love that. And Tanya and Augustafoni. Thank you for being here. And Tanya, oh yes, so good, and awareness is power, absolutely. And Manny, thank you so much for that beautiful compliment. And Ty is here, and Caesar Slim, and Sam. This is an awesome subject. Loving that you're enjoying today's topic, and thanks so much for the beautiful follower who gave me the idea and the question to answer it. If you guys have any questions or anything that you'd love for me to talk into, always let me know. I value knowing what's of value to you so that I can create some messages around it. So thank you. And J. Carl and Alexandria and Ray's here, and Amit, is jealousy bad? No, I believe that there is positive and negative to every single thing. It doesn't always feel good to be jealous, but what I would say is it doesn't feel good because we only see the negative and we don't see it as a avenue of empowerment. But when we understand human behavior and we can understand why we are getting caught up in jealousy, and coupled with having a strategy for using it to our advantage, boom, it's a great thing. You know, bring on the challenge, bring on the feelings of jealousy, bring on the uncomfortable feelings in whatever form, if you have the mindset that you will always learn and grow from it in your self-awareness and empowerment. So that's my answer to that question, Amit. Thank you for being here. And GD and Alexandra, so many of your chunks of assimilated wisdom have been processing through my mind and coming out in real life scenarios. Thank you always. Probably happened 5 times just today. Oh, I love hearing that, Alexandria. Thank you so much. You're absolutely speaking my values, because if I can be of value to you in any way, and that absolutely makes some sort of difference in your life, you're truly making my life fulfilling. So I so appreciate you sharing that, my beautiful spirit sister. I love it. And thanks, Amit. And Maggie's here, and Lejasa, and Gary, and Jody, and Melissa, and Sam. I convert jealousy as my challenges I've to work on. This gives me willpower to penetrate these challenges and come out in growth and compassion. That is so, so awesome, Sam. I love that. I love always hearing different pieces of your growth journey, and it's beautiful to hear that you're overcoming it and using it to your advantage to growing. So that's awesome. And Nalinda and Jatandra, thank you so much. And Victor's here, and Jody. Jealousy, yes, had that and lost my ex 18 years and love your post. Thank you, Jody. And yeah, you know, any time we don't grow, you know, I believe that we are kind of given the challenges that we need to grow and learn, and we keep repeating the same challenges until we learn those lessons. So definitely jealousy can break down our relationships, absolutely. So all the more reason to have a strategy in place to understand what's driving that jealous behavior and definitely overcome it, get to a place of further deeper connection, compassion, like you mentioned, Sam, and definitely empower ourselves in all areas. So I love that. Thanks for sharing there, Jody. And Hassani, you're so, so welcome. And Amit, you're so welcome. And Mustafa and Amy and Benny are here too. That is so awesome. I've loved having each and every one of you guys join me today. Thanks so much for joining and spending your time with me, and for your questions and comments and feedback. They are always so appreciated. I hope today's message has definitely got you thinking about not avoiding jealousy, but actually using it to your advantage. And I really hope that you'll use the 3-step process that I mentioned and outlined in today's message to really empower yourself, grow yourself, and change your opinion of yourself so that you don't have to succumb to the feelings of jealousy, and you can definitely move forward in an empowered state. As always, guys, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you, to wherever you are in the world today. I hope it's beautiful and amazing and extraordinary, just like you. And thank you, Sam. Much gratitude to you, and hope it's amazing. And I'm sending you all of my love, and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.